So hey, Andy, Jamie, what's going on?
Hey Scott, hello buddy. Hello. Jamie, how are you doing?
Andy, my man, what is happening over there?
Oh man, not a lot, not a lot. Just excited about this test drive. We got a lot of people again, and it's been going great, been going smooth. Hi Waleed. Hello Mike. Hello everybody out there, all you regulars and all you people who are in here maybe for the first time. This is my trading studio with Jamie Hodge and uh, Jamie. Let's get going, I guess. No reason to
No time like the
ramble
present.
on. That's right. Yeah. Before we do, let's go over the disclaimer, guys. You're going to be seeing and hearing Jamie and I talk about setups and potential buys and sells, but do not construe this as investment advice. We're here for educational purposes only. We'll share some great content with you, but just keep in mind if you're looking for investment advice, you need to seek out a registered advisor, a stockbroker, somebody who can do that. But we are going to have a good time. And before we do, we're going to talk about all of our support, education, and training. I'm sure a lot of you are learning this for the first time this week as we provide webinars throughout the week to help you learn the software. We realize to some people it can be daunting at first, and it's our job to make sure you make a smooth transition, into becoming or using our software to really help you in your trading. Just a reminder, what we have, guys, I'm sure most of you know about the Traders Room. We have about 500 plus traders in there. It's moderated by Barry, who is a great trader, and he shares his desktop, and you can watch our software in action. This is free for everyone. You do not have to be a subscriber to Trade Ideas, but we have a pretty good hunch that you will once you see all the people in there using it and profiting from it. We have webinars every day, Monday through Thursday at 5 Eastern Time. You can see the combination of the people we throw at you to help you with education and training. Usually a combination of Steve, Jamie, or myself. But on Wednesday, we do throw our CEO, Dan Merkin, along with Brad Williams, our CTO, to kind of tell you what's coming down, the pike as far as the bells and whistles, and it's a great place to go for Q&A. And then tomorrow, do not forget, guys, at 11 Eastern Time, we have a Friday support session. This is nothing but Q&A. You guys come in, and we're there for you to answer your questions. We'll demonstrate for you if should we need to. In most cases, we do. It's just a great format to further get all your questions answered and also to expand on your education with the software. Plus, guys, we also have TI University. If you are going through the test drive this week, more than likely you may have gone on our YouTube channel and watched it. But if you haven't, you've missed it, and or even if you've been here for several months and just feel like you haven't learned what you should have, come to TI University. Okay, you have to register for this, but it is a 4-part class. Starts on Mondays at 12 Eastern, and we do 101. And then we graduate each day until we have 401. Jamie would be doing that on Thursday. So it's something you have to register for. Get in there. We do have 30 minutes left over after the curriculum for Q&A in that as well. So if you haven't taken it, please do. You're going to learn something, I can promise you. All right, Brokerage Plus. I'm going to talk a lot about Brokerage Plus today. It's a way for you to automate your trading, or if you want to gray box your trading, I'll explain more about that. There's so much you can do with Brokerage Plus, and I fear people are only thinking Brokerage Plus is for auto trading, Holly, and there's so much more to it than that. As a matter of fact, you can't even do that yet, but tons of people are using it to their advantage, and I'm going to talk more about that here in a little bit. But anyway, if you want more information, just go to trade-ideas.com/beta if you're not aware of that and you want to learn more about it. All right, let's go to the agenda for today. And we're going to talk about the market recap. I've been talking, mentioned this earlier this week. When the pullback was due, we were overbought. Well, we got that today. and we'll talk about what may happen from here on. Is it going to be a deeper pullback, or are we just going to dig in, kind of go sideways, and then try to get through that 200 moving average, I believe. Not much happening in Holly today. It was a great day yesterday. I was telling Steve today, it's like, man, Dan seems to always get those really great days on Holly. But today was kind of a lackluster day, just not a lot going on, and we'll have more to say about that for sure. And there, as I was mentioning, Brokerage Plus, I'm going to talk about here how it is the Tesla of order entry and slash blotter. How you can do so much more with this than you can on your normal execution platform. Talk about auto trading, gray box trading, and how you can adjust targets and stops on the charts. Just some really cool features, guys. And then we're going to have some Q&A. We're still in the test drive, so I want to leave plenty of time at the end. I see a lot of questions coming in, and I thank Jamie for grabbing those. Don't worry, we'll have, I'm going to go through this pretty quick today, and we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. But let's back out of this right now, and we will go to our good old SPY chart, and we'll briefly go over this and see what we're talking about here in the SPY. Well, like I said, we were extremely overbought. And you get moves like this, you get the rubber band stretched way down here, and then of course your pop. It's not uncommon to have a huge pop back. This is more than I expected without a pullback. We had a little one right here, but that didn't last long, one day, and then a couple of sideways here, but we were really overbought here, and we finally did get our pullback in the market. Now we bounced. You can see we did not close below the 10-period moving average, same as we did back over here. Once we hit it, bounced, and right here we closed right at it, and we still held it. So that's what you probably need to keep an eye on. And it's kind of an important kind of pivot level right here as well. We talked about this area right here. We finally got through that, area. Let me just take this and put it right there. After going sideways for a while, we poked up. Now let's see if this little area right here, which is really another kind of pivot area, you can see a lot of the bars hugging up against that line and bouncing off of it. So, and not only that, you have the 10-period moving average. So let's see what happens. Are we going to hold this level? Or are we going to break back down through and then come down here and maybe test this level again, or the 20-day? But I wouldn't be surprised after the move that we have if we don't have a further pullback. And like I said, we're not out of the woods yet. Guys, a lot of people think we're out of the woods. I don't see it yet, but time will tell. But for right now, that's the levels I'd be watching. Definitely the 200-day. If we can get above that, then I'm pretty sure we might probably going to go test this level again. If we break down, we're probably going to come down to this level or maybe the 20. But we'll have to see what happens. But things I'd be watching on the shorter time frames are the 10-period, the rising 10-period, and the flattening 200-day. Those are the key levels right now. Real quickly on the Qs, kind of the same thing there. I'm not going to go into detail. Pretty much looks the same as the spiders. Diamonds are a little bit different story. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to this. Once again, it's an antiquated, 30 symbols. It's just not a true picture of the overall market when you look at the diamonds these days. See what the IWM's doing, and it's way below its 200-day. But once again, kind of looks like the spiders as far as bouncing off the 10-period there. If everyone applies what we have learned, everyone wins. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I think that's about it. Jamie, do you have anything you want to add to the market recap here?
No, just today's action wasn't that surprising, so to speak. With the run up that we've had, and Holly was a little lackluster today as well, only spitting out what do we have today? 7 trades between the trio, which is a little light. But then again, yesterday was a pretty darn good session for Holly. So it's just like in the old days, Andy. Remember, you'd make a lot of money and you'd be all pumped up to come in there and do it again the next day, and then what would happen? You'd
Yeah.
jump right in headlong and maybe get in the hole. And it just seemed the way it used to work all the time. You'd have a big day, you'd come in real pumped for the next day, and due to market conditions or whatever circumstances are out there, it just seemed like, it wasn't impossible to string winning days in a row. But, from a mentality standpoint, it seems like the trap that everybody fell into, But today was just a digestive move, seems par for the course, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like I was telling Jamie before we started, it is what it is. I don't argue anymore. Holly is Holly. She is equipped with 45, whatever, how many strategies she has right now, and they make the cut or they don't, and they fire alerts or they don't. That all it's telling you is the setups are not there as far as these strategies that are making the cut. If the setups are there and you get a trigger, you get an alert. So it's not the golden goose. If anybody's coming in here looking for the golden goose, there's no such thing. But Jamie, if you want to take it and just maybe take a look at a couple of them, or maybe even talk more about a logic, try to reason why we're not getting as many alerts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it away.
Let me just get some stuff off. Get some clutter off my screen here. One moment. Can you see my screen now, Andy? Andy, can you see me?
I'm sorry. I can, Jamie.
Okay, perfect. Okay, hi, everybody. Welcome to my desktop. So what we were talking about earlier, the Holly Trio, we can see from the channel bar up here, Holly 1.0, 2.0, and Neo. Neo kicked out 5 trades. We can see Neo's blotter down here. Of course, Holly 2.0 is vacant because she issued no trades, and only 2 trades coming from Holly Grail. So I guess let me take us back to Tuesday. Tuesday, when Holly presented her strategies, where did that, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to have to reload because things are not where they should be. Oh, there we go. There's my strategy panel. Okay. So on Tuesday, all of the Holly modules, between the 3 of them, I think we only had 7 strategies present, which is just a little over, 2 per module, which is very odd, and we were all talking about it. We even had some users commenting on it. But when you look at where we've come from, all right, because let's all keep in mind where we've been and where we've just recently come from, right? The little correction or whatever you'd like to call it these days. A lot of energy being expended up here. Usually we'll take a little break on a run up and get this consolidation, right? And we did that for a while, and then we just broke out of this little level again. So as levels are broken on the overall market, well, that means something, right? All that data has to be factored in, and since Holly is a statistical system, all of these changes, the more frequent the changes, then the harder it is for the system to make sense of statistical viability moving forward. So that's more than likely what's occurring here while we're seeing smaller strategy clusters. But then yesterday we had quite a few. Holly put on quite a show, I think, between Neo and 2.0. I think they peaked out around 6 points, maybe pulled back a little bit. So really good yesterday, followed up by kind of a soft day in the market today. And with Holly as well, but hey, just settling back into this little area right here. Now, how far are we? How many days are we going to move sideways from here? Or are we going to go test this level tomorrow? From the way the market closed, that's always a possibility. But we got that nice little wicking action there. So, long story short, just not a lot of statistical viability in the market today. Let's take a look at Neo, because usually I like to point out, hey, a lot of these trades continue to go after Holly has gotten out of them in her more conservative mode, risk off, and then we continue to track the movement of the positions via risk on here. So this is probably the only example of risk on today from Neo in the short that was MIME. And this little guy worked pretty much right off the bat. We had a little bit of sideways momentum or sideways consolidation, so to speak, after the signal, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But as soon as these levels right here were broken, well, it was off to the races. So if you focus on the shaded area right here, this also corresponds with the time that Holly was in the trade in risk-off mode. And let me just recap what risk-off mode is, especially since there's probably some people in here who have never really heard the difference between risk-off and risk-on. So with Holly, there's a total of 5 reasons why she will exit a trade. Now, the 3 basic ones are stop loss, profit target, and a timed hold. So let me just go ahead and switch the segment here to Neo. It actually produced some trades today. And we can see all these strategies remain silent. These 2 guys are the ones that produced the 5 trades. But we can see here in the time stop column what all of these independent strategies, the intraday time frames that they were geared around as far as hold time. So we got 2 hours on these guys. These 2 guys that fired trades today were all configured around a 60-minute intraday hold time. You can see right here on these 3 trades, they were all timed exits. So 60 minutes was up, profit target and stop loss had not been hit. Holly does what she's programmed to do, punches out of the trade for a 16-cent winner right here in this area, okay? So as you get more familiar with Holly and watching the trades, when you see that she's exiting a trade, you pretty much just sum it up based on your chart reading skills, right? We see Holly closing that trade out, and we're like, hey, we've got a nice push thus far. We came down here and wick, and now we're coming sideways again. So the key with going risk on is, number one, you have to like the chart action and feel comfortable staying in it. But it's really just going, okay, Holly, you're getting out of the trade. Just pretend Holly was another human trader. Oh, you're getting out? Okay. You know what? I think there's more left in this trade, so I'm going to take more risk. So you're going risk on and trying to capture more of that alpha in there. So what do we have there? About another 22 cents, which isn't bad, but usually on a day where Holly performs quite nicely, we see a lot more of this. And that's also indicative of a day that has a little bit of a trend behind it as well. You know, market was red today, but boy, there were sure some stocks that were going straight up today. It seemed like a disproportionate number of stocks I was seeing were going up, some were coming down, but just because the market was down, you know, it didn't mean everything was going to come down. But the bottom line is not any risk off mode here other than MIME. And if you'll notice up here, this is how they finished, risk off and risk on, or excuse me, risk off in both modules. If we go ahead and look at risk on, we can see a slight difference. Down 20 cents if you were just holding everything to the close, and, you know, 20 cents if you were going in risk off mode. Now, one thing to point out, and, you know, believe me, I was right in here when all this happened. I'm like, hey, we're off to a good start. Come back down here, get one more shot at redemption. But if he didn't take it that time, next time he came back down here, a couple little, you know, gasps above break even, and then boom, things just kind of fell apart. But after yesterday's performance, not that big of a deal to see Holly just kind of putting in a flat day. Nothing to write home about, really. There is a slight risk on here as well, but hey, 5 cents in there. So, you know, risk off in both modules that produce trades. Just a light day for Holly, and with the market conditions in play, not a big surprise. So, you know, we'll see what the analysis yields tonight after we fold in all the tick data for all the stocks today. Let Holly do her thing, crunch those numbers, and see what she shows up with tomorrow.
All right.
All right. So
Very
I see
good, Jamie.
No Holly questions slid in there, but if anybody thinks of one, go ahead and put them in, and we'll get to them towards the end of the webinar. And I guess I can just kick it back over to you, Andy.
Sure can. Jeez, this is acting up. This every time I load. Hold on, let me try to grab it. Yeah,
Sure.
it's causing an issue with my.
There you go. Yeah, we see now.
Are you seeing just my main monitor though, or are you seeing it all?
Just the one.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little quirky. Yeah, what's happening, guys, is running this Brokerage Plus, and I have TWS open in Plus. I'm trying to. I think there's some sort of something wrong with the GoToWebinar. Is when I try to fire that up,
Yeah, there's a little conflict in there somewhere.
Yeah, there is, and it's making my little jumpy on my Brokerage Plus, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it because I was able to connect, and I do have Trader's Workstation up, and I wanted to show you guys. I talked about this earlier, and I just want to keep pounding it home because there's so much greatness about this module than just auto trading Holly. I know people are, really geeked up to auto trade Holly, and you probably should be. Everybody's kind of looking forward to that, but I think you should come at it with a little bit of caution, only because we don't know. This is new ground we're stomping on, and even though Holly has done great, and I'm sure, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I don't know how auto trading is going to go, but I will say this: I guarantee you, this Brokerage Plus module is gonna take off, because I have been trading for too long, and I have never seen anything like it. And I know what it's like to trade on an execution platform and have a blotter window and an execution window, and they're just not as smooth. And this is what I meant. This is kind of like the Tesla of brokerage platforms, I think, and the point I want to make is, guys, it's almost like it's a whole new style of trading. It really is. And I'm going to show you an example. Well, first of all, you're going to be you can auto trade right now. There's plenty of people who have been auto trading with Brokerage Plus for years now, for a couple of years anyway. A lot of trades are being executed per month through this Brokerage Plus, and they're not auto trading Holly. They have their own strategies, and what they're able to do is put these strategies to work. And they become like little hedge fund managers. All you're doing is managing risk. And what I am going to I'm just now basically learning it and playing with it. And what I think this is going to do wonders for my swing trading. And I'm going to show you an example, because I am not having to spend all my time looking for entries, looking for good entries. Good entries. Entry is the most important part of the trade, bar none. Okay, I can't drive that home enough. It's all about the entry, and I'm going to show you an example here of a couple of strategies. Now, the strategies and names that you're seeing, discretionary, these aren't discretionary. I think what happens is when you add to a position, it changes it from, in other words, when you start manipulating the size, it changes it to a discretionary versus whatever it got you into. For the most part, and I'll show you, I was running, hopefully this will click over there, topping tail. I'm looking for topping tails that have been up at least 3% in the 5 days and have a topping tail. I'm using another topping tail up 2 consecutive days. These are the two I was running the last 2 days. And these are the trades that enter. And I want to take you through some of these, guys, and just show you what I'm talking about. Now, some of these are discretionary, the X, DDXJ, I think Steve jumped in there and did a few, but I'm going to take you through some ones for today. Let's see, FDX. This is FedEx, and this entered today. Now, to me, this is a great entry. I'm not saying this is going to be a winning trade. I'm still in it, and it may be a losing trade. You can see it shorted here. I added right here. This is probably why it turned into a discretionary short. It was from a topping tail from yesterday. You can kind of see the topping tail. And look how that marries up to this gap fill over here. So you have a stock that had a gap down on earnings, sold off, and took all of a month and a half to finally do the gap fill. This is an entry I'll take all the time on a short. Okay. The Brokerage Plus gets me in. Okay. I don't have to do anything. I just look down there. Oh, that's a great entry. I didn't do anything. it found it for it. Well, it's my strategy, but hey, the Brokerage Plus is doing the hard work for me and entering that trade. Let me see if I can find, we'll go over a few more here. Let's see if this was for today or yesterday. This was for today. Look at that. It's pretty much kind of like that FedEx. All right, you have a stock shining up, several green days up. Look at that bar reversal. There's the entry, and I covered most of it. Boom, because the market started bouncing. That's the great thing. So now you're just working. You don't have to worry about the entry. Now you're just managing risk. You're watching the market. Market's coming down. Cover, cover, cover. Got a little bit left. Just hopefully this holds. Let's see. X is let's take a look at Anthem. This may have been, yep, this was today too. There you go again, another one. Bounced up, bar reversal. You can see the topping tail from yesterday. There's my shorts added to the position and covered most of it right there. I do have some left. Let me see if I can find another good one. WNC. This may have been from yesterday. No, let me zoom out. No, that was from today, right there. There's your entry. I'm not sure why it's not showing a sale sign, but let's see, take a look. The entry price 40, yeah, that's it. Just not seeing the S. This was a nice little winner, LGJPC yesterday. This was yesterday. Let me zoom out so you can kind of see it. Come on. See what I mean? How it gets kind of jumpy when I'm running this.
I do.
Yeah, I think it's the go-to meeting because it wasn't anything like this. But anyway, let me click on something else. Try it back again. And there we go. Come on, a little bit further. There we go. But nonetheless, you can see the entry from yesterday. I can't scroll back to yesterday, 44.16. Sold, held the trade, covered a little bit right there, still holding. This thing could, drop down to there. But I just I want to tell you because I, for the longest time, for 17 years, I was a hardcore day trader. And I can't tell you how much less emotional, something like this is. Now I'm still playing around with it, but these aren't big sizes. These are not risking a lot. These are taking positions on good entry on a daily time frame, and then either letting the stock work for you, or if I can pull up my closed positions, and I'm probably not gonna see if I can do that. You can see we were definitely managing the closed positions. If they didn't work, you get out. This one was a loser. So we had some pretty big losers. That tells you we had some winners today, but that was one where we lost this. We forgot to put a stop on it or something. But nonetheless, guys, I just wanted to bring that out. And also, you can work with the charts. I know it's probably not going to let me now. Let me try to close this out and go back to my open position so I can show you. Yeah, it's just I'm gonna have to close this out. It's getting kind of jumpy. You guys be getting all your questions ready. Yeah, it's getting jumpy. I'm gonna have to close out this trader's workstation. It's just hanging up on me too much. Disconnect. Well, there you go. Should be disconnecting soon. There we go. Now we can move around freely. All right, well, guys, I wanted to show you that, and you're going to be hearing this a lot from me because there's so much you can do. I didn't get time. I mean, it wasn't acting nice for me today, but you would be able to, take your stop losses at any time on the chart and just move them around to wherever you want them. Same thing with your targets. You can move your targets around. It will go and auto adjust them inside your Brokerage Plus, auto adjust the price for you. So just some really cool features, guys. And if you're just sitting there holding out Brokerage Plus for Holly, I think you're missing the big picture. I mean, this thing is going to, I think it's going to set the trading world on fire. I really do, because wait till we get to where you're able to hide your orders from your brokers as well. They won't see your order until it's executed. That's going to be very nice. All right.
Hey, Waleed was asking a question there, Andy, about what he was seeing on Brokerage Plus, and it looked to me like you were doing 300 share lots of every trade, or was it a dollar amount?
No, it was based on 200. It was based on $200 per stop loss. Now, I would. You saw what I would do. A lot of times, I would double down. I would double down if it looked like it was going to work in my favor. So I would add to the positions. Some of those discretionary are just the 1,000, 2,000 shares. I think Steve was throwing those. For some reason, brokerage, they gave us some demos, and somehow they're all tied together. So we're getting other people's entries in our blotter. So hopefully we're gonna get that straightened out. But yes, Waleed, it's I think this is going to be just incredible for swing trading, because I can't tell you, I love good entries, and now I can build my alerts to find these entries, and not to mention, even if you see something on a chart that you like and it's not coming through your alert, but you like it and you want to trade off of that and send it to Brokers Plus, you just right click and you go trade, and you can use whatever strategy you want as far as profits and targets goes, and just click that, and it'll trade using your parameters off that strategy. It's just so cool. All right, got some more questions coming in. Do you let Brokers Plus to enter any stock matching the entry criteria, or only stocks in a watch list? Great question. Good question, Fernando. You can do that. You can have a watch list put in there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a hint for those of you guys who are playing with Brokers Plus. All right, these are, I'm still working on my strategies, but this is actually a watch list, as you were saying, referring to. We call it a symbol list, but these are the ones I'm working with right now, guys. And you have access to this in channel 4. Okay, so I am using a symbol list in this strategy, and they're looking for bottoming tails. And the ones I'm using right now is bottoming tail, and I created my own topping tail. I'm using a topping tail one. You also have access to that if you go to a strategy and you go to configure. You go to symbol list, add existing list, and go to daily. You're going to find some candlestick patterns in there, and these are what kind of I'm playing around with right now. So, because I'm telling myself, see, I can use these, and then I can build my own parameters. So in other words, I'm looking for a topping tail. I showed you that one where I'm looking for a topping tail, but now I put my own parameters where it has to be up 5% over the last 5, or 3% over the last 5 days. If I get that and a topping tail, I got a pretty good setup for the next day. So I'm still playing around with parameters, but if you guys are looking to maybe build some strategy for it, I would look in here. And I'll tell you right now, the ones I found the best are the bottoming tail, topping tail, bullish. I haven't started playing in Brokerage Plus, but the bullish, what is it? Oh, green bar reversal. I haven't, like I said, I haven't built anything for that yet, but I would look into that.
Hey, Andy, real quick here, because I'm not 100% sure, I'm pretty certain, but Dan was asking a question about, if I'm in a position and then I add to it, will it automatically adjust my stop loss for the new shares? And my response is, if you use the double button, right, in Brokerage Plus,
yeah,
then I think it does adjust your stop loss. But if you're like in 100 shares and then you say, okay, you pull it up and you manually buy 100, then I think you'll have to go in there and adjust that stop loss. It's not something I've been doing in Brokerage Plus here lately, even though I've been doing a lot of stuff, but I'm pretty certain that's the way it works, Dan. But maybe I'll conduct a little experiment tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been doing that, Jamie, and I haven't seen it adjusting. So it may be something that you have to do manually. because remember, your stop loss is based, your stop loss is set, okay? And when you buy your initial lot, it's adjusting that, how much you buy for the stop loss. So it would assume you want to keep that same
Yeah, because it has
stop.
no way of going, oh, he added, let me readjust the stop loss.
Yeah.
If it's
So I think
strategy
it does
driven,
keep the same. So you would have to adjust it. The sweet thing is all you got to do is reach up and grab it and pull it down where you want it. You know, it's,
yeah.
Good question though. So anyway, yeah, that guys, I would take a look at those daily patterns because man, it's sweet. I can't tell you, now here's what you got to be careful with. It's easy if you're running a lot of strategies to look down after 30 minutes of trade and all of a sudden you got a blotter full. You got to be careful you don't overtrade. So be careful with the number of strategies you're using, especially if they spit out a lot of alerts. And here's the thing about it. It's difficult trading off the daily, especially if you've been a long time. This was hard for me. Luckily, I was always trading in my SEP as well, so it made it a little bit easier. I was always swing trading in there, or swing trading for ditto trade, and had people in our accounts for us. But for the normal day trader, because really, if you're going to trade off the daily, you need to let them work for you. In other words, like this FedEx, for example, if I'm entering a position today based off this daily chart, there's no reason for me to get off because we have an uptick right here. You gotta just stomach it, let it breathe. Tomorrow if it reverses and takes out highs, hey, maybe I'll cut it. Didn't work, didn't hold this 50. But there needs to be a technical reason I'm getting out, on the daily. Okay, you need to try to take your eyes off the 15-minute chart. It's great to like today, when the market got down the lows and you got some good profits, bang it out. That's what you in that blotter I showed you. In about every position, I took off about 75% of that position, and now I got 25%. Just see if it can work for me on a more of a longer time frame. Wally says you can limit the number of trades, which is yes, that's right. You can limit the number of trades in your B plus very easily.
Yeah, and
yes.
to the question that Robert was asking,
I see that. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're just watching. We're watching the Trader Workstation panels, right? So whatever positions you have in TWS, even if you didn't execute them through Brokerage Plus, once you make that connection, any positions that are live on your TWS workstation will show up on your Brokerage Plus.
Oh, is that right? I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, because really, I don't plan on using Brokerage Plus at all. I fire it up and I just minimize it.
You mean TWS?
Sorry, TWS. Yeah, sorry. Don't. Yeah.
I'm not going to use it at all. Yeah. So really, it's look at Brokerage Plus as a better, more intuitive platform that just sits on top of TWS and takes control of all the functionality. It's all still going through TWS because that is the workstation. We just built a better interface in which to operate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wally, did you pay for data for, they have little data packages. So if you got the right data package, bid and offer should populate.
Yes. Waleed, I saw your question. Somebody dropped it in our Slack, and I saw your question. So I tested mine. I added of course, I exited my program and got back in, so my column's not there right now. But I did add a bid column and ask column, and I was getting data in there. So if you're paying for data, you should be getting it. If not, I would give them a call. Oh, you're not paying for data yet?
Well, then, yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's what it is. Yeah, you will get it once you get the live data, and I tell you what, Wally, it's gonna be amazing how quick everything is, and because I was doing what you were doing for a while, and finally I got live data, and it's amazing the difference. It's really fast. All right, guys, we got time left, and we're just, we don't have to just talk about Brokerage Plus. Obviously, a lot of you test drivers in here. If you have any questions on the software, please ask. Yeah, you can, Robert. You can. I assume, yeah, you can use either platform, but yeah, a Brokerage Plus, I think, is going to end up being your platform of choice. Uh, Chris, right now, Chris asked. He says, "I'm coming into the room and just came into the room. Where are you getting these strategies?" I'm building these strategies. Uh, and Chris, if you want to go back and watch the replay, this is recorded, and you will get an email letting you know when it's available. You can go back and find out. I kind of showed where I'm starting to. I'm just playing around. The best thing to do is, we'll give you some hints, where we kind of build. We're not just going to give you our strategies, because what happens is, if you get a lot of people trading one strategy, it could kind of throw things off a little bit, slippage and things. So, but we'll definitely give you the groundwork. And just real quickly, if you go to channel 4 and look up daily candlestick patterns, there's a window in there called bullish daily candlestick patterns, and that's kind of the base of what I'm using for right now. All right. Does anyone who...
I was just trying to make sense of that question. I'm at a loss.
I'm not sure. If you're talking about other platforms, right now we only work with IB, Interactive Brokers. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to by other programs. Stuart, I'm sorry. The test drive ended yesterday. There's not a whole lot we can do. All right. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, living life in the fast line, the 10-period SMA.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened to it. We actively watch that indicator each and every day.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Steve was talking to Brad about getting that filter done, and I think Brad's going to look into it. So right now, all we have is an 8 period. So Steve and I have always used a 10. So we're going to look into adding that one. Gregory, Thinkorswim is a little bit wonky. We can link to that through external linking, but what you want to do is send an email. Yeah, it is buggy, but you can do it. Send an email to info@trade-ideas.com. We'll show you later on in the slides where to email, but it's info@trade-ideas.com. And say you want the help doc document page for linking Thinkorswim. Well, John, we put the symbol list in the 420 channel. We actually, those are tagged to a symbol list. You probably don't have access to that but yeah, if you feel like there's some symbols or something like that we should add, send us an email to that same email I just announced, and we'll be happy. Well, you cannot add to that channel, unfortunately. Now you can do this. You can create your own. You can create your own 420 channel and then just add your symbols. And basically what you would do would just come over here, and where's 420? There it is. All right, so this is our channel. Okay, you cannot alter this. You can try, but if you come back to it and click on the channel, everything's gonna go back to its default state. All right, so let's say you want to take this and make it your own channel. What you would do is just go File, Save Layout, and you could call it My Weed Channel or My Weed Layout, and save. All right, and now you can go, you know, say you can go anywhere you want to. There's Holly Grail, and let's say you want to go find your weed channel. You go to Load Layout, and there it is. You pull it up. Now, see, now that you have it saved to your server, you can go in here and alter it any way you want and just resave it. So you can go in here, and this looks like it's a multi-strategy. So you'd have to go in here and configure, and then symbol list, and you can change it. In other words, you can make, you could have your own list of pot stocks and just go to my existing list. So that's how you do it.
You can point to more than one list as well, so you could just make a supplemental list and
good idea.
420 index and just have as many other lists attached as you'd like.
So like what Jamie's saying is you could create your own list to add symbols to it, and then just check it like, you know, whatever. Have that one checked too, along with that one. All right. All right, guys, we got a few minutes left. Been some good questions today.
Yeah, and Javier, easy question to answer. You got to hold down the control key and then use the right left arrows or your mouse wheel while holding down the control key, and then you can compress and expand the charts.
If you do not have a spinner on your mouse, or you're not using a laptop without a mouse, you can use your arrow keys. Will work the same as a spinning wheel. When I look at relative volume column on my SpyQ watch list in the first hours of trading, it usually shows 2 to 4 times normal volume. How can that be? Well, it's going to be relative to that time of day. I'll have to keep an eye on that. You know, it should be relative to that time of day. So. You know, it's not uncommon on some days to have a surge in volume in the opening minutes of trading, first hour. You know, I've never noticed that, but it consistently seems to show that.
Well, you're going to have crazy relative volume numbers off the open, and then it's slowly going to taper off, but that seems a little excessive, you know?
I'll try to keep an eye on that, Stan. I haven't noticed that, but I'll try to keep an eye on that. And I know, Jamie, you keep a top list of all those. I'm not sure if you have a relative volume column, but
no, I do. And like today, I distinctly recall, you know, just barely above 1 on those major indexes. Pretty, you know, far into the session. Let me get back over here and see what we finished at.
Well, you could just go do it.
Yeah, I show the SPY finished at 1.08, IWM 1.04, the Qs 1.03, and the Dow was 0.95.
Why don't you go do a time frame and see what they look like an hour after they open, real quick, and just to see. Yeah.
Let's do that. Time frame be 9:30 my time.
That's right. Got you're a Texas boy now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let me take a gander here. So 9:30 to 9:35, SPYs were only at 0.98, Qs were only at 1.01. No, completely what I would call normal. So I would say that was Stan who was asking that question.
Stan.
Or,
It may just be in the days that you're looking. Yeah, you have for some reason we have volume coming out in the morning or something.
and if something looks wonky on that top list, just send us the cloud link, and that way we can take a look and see if anything's going on, or that was just par for the course that day. But that sounds high for the tracking ETFs, unless it was a big day.
All right, let's see. Would you explain? Let's see. Can multiple channels be open, or is it no? Only one channel at a time can be open, Robert. Now you can combine, like I was showing a gentleman earlier, how you can take it and make it your own. You could combine two channels and make it one layout. You could add some. You can save any of those windows that you find on a channel and just build a custom layout. All right. Would you explain the position and range filter does? Yeah, Randy, real quick. Position and range, they're really great. I love them. They're my favorite filters, and we have many of them. The position and range is just referring to the intraday range. Today only. Obviously, these are intraday, shorter time frames, and then we have daily time frames as well. But when you're looking at the position and range, just basically it's a stock price relative to the range of the day. So if you have a stock that's traded between $9 and $10 for the day, okay, and it's trading at $9.50, it would be a position and range of 50%. It looks at that range and then calculates what the position is based on that range. Does that make sense to you? And I cover this really good in 301 and TI University 301. So if you want to grab grab that off the playlist in our YouTube channel, you're welcome, Randy. All right. In order to work Brokers Plus, must be running in the same machine. Yes, correct, Fernando. And well, looks like we're all done, guys. We only you're welcome, Waleed, and you guys think about that Brokers Plus. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a cool little tool. The cool tool. Do you have a link for signing up for live university classes? Yeah, Stan, we'll drop that. We'll drop that in there while Scott's walking us out. I'm going to bring Scott in. You guys hang on. He'll have a coupon discount for you, a discount code, and some other things to talk about. So hang on, and Scott, if you want to come back in.
Hello. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, a couple items on the way out. There's a great ebook we launched last year. If you don't have it yet, you should get it. Both Andy and Jamie contributed chapters to it. Just go to trade-ideas.com/ebook to get the 5 ways to win in a post-BTFD market. It's got 5 strategies for you to keep in your trader's toolbox that'll help you survive in a rocky market. It's good stuff, and it's in PDF form. Just plug in your email on that landing page, and you'll get the download link. We have a podcast. We should have a new episode out tomorrow. We're at season 3. This is the 3rd year of the Trade Ideas podcast. Just search for Trade Ideas podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and add us as a subscription. Then you'll get the new episode delivered to your app, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever. The discount code, it's a new code for this month, for February. So just use Trade with TI, all caps. It's case sensitive. Plug that in when you are starting a new subscription or doing an upgrade, and it'll save 15% off the first month or year of your new Trade Ideas subscription. If you have a question, email info@trade-ideas.com. That is the best place to send your questions because it goes directly into our help desk software and gets routed to our support team. So the appropriate team member that knows how to answer your question is going to be the person replying. You can also follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. You can follow Steve Gomez at Today Trader. We've also got at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro is the page to go to on Facebook to like so that you can see our updates and share that stuff with your friends. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you, Andy. Thanks all.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning in the Friday support.
Yep, later on.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
We'll have a recording of this up
Bye-bye.
later tomorrow. Update.